Okay, before I speak about the entirely new, like, anime-only moment discussion with Yuak and Ichibei in the beginning of this fucking episode, I'm gonna say something else, like, before, the stuff that's been going on, I think the last week or last 2 weeks or something like that. If any one of you is complaining about anything that's going on with Bleach right now, that majority of us have fucking waited for well over an entire decade, or a little bit over a decade, an entire decade, complaining about literally anything, there's obviously some things that, I'm bummed out about just a tiny bit, but they're minuscule. It doesn't matter. But if you are genuinely complaining and harassing the crew that is making Bleach right now, the crew that is working their fucking asses off to make this the best arc and the best anime and animation that Bleach has ever been, because it clearly is, judging by just that first fucking episode of part 1. If you're doing any of that shit with no respect at all, people say, with all due respect, no respect at all, you all can go fuck yourselves. Please, you go fuck yourselves, and please stay the fuck away for not only the anime and the crew that's making it, but the actual fans who are so fucking happy that the series is back. Please, though, to you, I'm specifically to you, not just Ichi Ruki fans, fuck y'all. Not only that, but just the people complaining about literally anything, to the point where they're like messaging the crew that's making the fucking series, that's making the 1,000 Year Blood War arc the fucking best that it could ever be. If you're one of those people, please step away, fuck off, and get away from this series. Stay the fuck away from the series. Not a single fucking person needs you anywhere near any kind of fandom in general to where you gotta do this shit. So I just want to iterate one more time. You people can go fuck off and stay away from all of this Bleach greatness that's coming out for us. Because you clearly are entitled pieces of shit for literally no fucking reason. So please, with no due respect, with no respect at all, fuck off and get out of here. So without further ado, let's get to this review. Okay, so without further ado, I'm gonna do a review while I'm driving because I'm headed to work right now. So, first off, I gotta put my seatbelt on real quick. But first off, that beginning of the episode with the discussion with Ichibei and Yuak, the entirety of that is anime only. He added all that shit, bro. Like, just to see like Ichibei calling Yuak in discussion of having a peace treaty contract with the Soul Society and everything, and showing that what the Soul King had to go through and everything. It's, man, and they gave even more information and lore that Ichibei actually has some of the Soul King the powers in general in him and shit. And when Yuak confronted him like that and stuff, and which was something very interesting, was that they reveal in this anime only thing that the Soul King is Yuak's quote-unquote father. You understand really later on what he means by father. he's kind of like an entity of unknown origins, but then at the same time he has the same eyes as the Soul King himself. So that whole aspect of the episode was so mind-blowing that I did not expect absolutely whatsoever to get that actual confrontation with Ichibei and Yuok talking about a treaty, and then like, you know, Yuok talking about like, I heard that the world was once one and not separated and everything, and he's talking about how like when the souls come back to him, he can feel and he can hear and feel the agony and anguish and fear that all these people are having. Like, what's so peaceful about this and whatnot. And like, you kind of like understand Yuok, but at the same time, like, this is seeing all the visions of the Soul King and everything. Like, you see that this is the thing that the Soul King wanted. Like, nobody had like no fear in them and stuff when the world was one. The world was one. Later on, I've seen some of like the Can't For Your Own World light novels and stuff. Seeing the world that it was like before, like it was separated into Hueco Mundo, Soul Society, the world living and whatnot. It was fucked. Like, it truly was. Like, and the Soul King sacrificing himself for the betterment of the world was such a true hero thing, a true noble sacrifice, a true hero thing that the Soul King always wanted. But Yuok does not want that and everything, which is very interesting that like him saying the Soul King is like, you know, his father, but he's like the literal opposite of, he's very clearly the polar opposite of the Soul King. So he might be like an actual entity of an essence of what the Soul King was or is and whatnot, and that's why he's so opposite. Like, he's not actually him. It's so interesting, man. Like, it, and then Ichibei like having like the Soul King's like eye like on his hand, that like, you know, he is like, he has the arm of the Soul King like in him and shit, and Juhaba confronting that, but then Ichibei taking like his eyes away like that, and then they'll open upon your death. That's some foreshadowing right there for Yuok's like abilities and shit. So that was wild, bro. That whole fucking discussion, bro, that was nuts. Like, I didn't expect that whole thing in the beginning of the episode. That was straight up anime only shit. Like, that was wild. And then after that, you know, let's move on in the episode. You got Ganju, you know, rushing with, like, sitting on his boar, like, rushing to Ichigo and them, being like, hey, you forgot me, like, I'm an expert at the royal path. You know he's not an expert. Like, Ganju with his freaking jokes and shit like that. He really reminds me a lot of Usopp. He reminds me a lot of Usopp from One Piece, that like he says shit but he doesn't really like know the shit and everything and know what he's talking about, which was really funny. And for me, again, I'm gonna reiterate how much I'm very disappointed in how like Kubo didn't put in the discussion with Chad, Orihime, and Ichigo about her outfit and everything, and then Yoruichi coming in like being surprised like entrance of Yoruichi, him not showing that. But then you don't have that and the whole discussion, but then you have all these like very like super minuscule like moments, like comedy and stuff, like Ganju, like that could have been obviously like even halved, like his whole discussion with Ichigo, that could have been halved too. And then, like, you know, Chad, Orihime, and Ichigo's, like, the whole discussion and stuff, like, that whole conversation with the entrance of Yoruichi, that literally could have just been a minute in an episode. Like, so, I don't really understand that in itself. But it was fun to, like, it was fun to see Ganju again, and then him going with Ichigo and them, and Ganju's like, you know what? Yeah, I know this is a serious thing. That's why I'm coming with you guys. You know, he's, you know, at the end of the day, Ganju is definitely a ride or die kind of dude. for like the crew and everything. He's an honorary member and whatnot. So that was really cool to see them go up. And again, like Ichigo started talking about like, can the Soul King really be like replaced and stuff, and him talking about like him seeing the visions of like the Soul King and shit like that. And then also that vision that we got to see of Osho, like Ichibei holding the Soul King, and like Yuak in the beginning obviously talking about how like, oh, like, so that's what he looks like. So like Yuak has never seen the Soul King before, like actually gazed upon him and everything, and like seeing the visions by holding on to Ichibei was wild, dude. Like it's all of it's oh my gosh, bro, it's just nuts. And then Ichigo talking about like, can the Soul King can he really be replaced and everything? Well, we'll find out later, a little bit later. But like that was absolutely nuts. And like, and also Yoruichi talking about it, like, it's just everybody talking about it. It's just so cool. I loved every single thing about it, man. It was so awesome. And then obviously the fight between the royal guards, the Squad Zero, and Yuak's own royal guards, his own elite guards, the Shustafel, I believe that's what they're called. Bro, Senjumaru is a top 5 baby girl for me, bro. The accent, the voice, the way she looks, and the way she did her ability, like took that wind guy out like he was fucking nothing, bro. That shit was wild. And I honestly, I gotta say, I love that when Yuak takes out like his soldats, which are the foot soldiers, and then Squad Zero or Senjumaru, the royal guards, send out their holy soldiers, and they completely wipe out Yuak's like foot soldiers. I really needed that, because of how much like the Soul Reapers themselves were getting their asses kicked in the Serete. So to see these holy soldiers beating all of these soldats, beating all their asses, was just very eye-pleasing. I loved seeing that. And then, like, you know, Lily Barrow coming in. You got Valkyrie, Gerard Valkyrie coming in. You got Askin coming in, bro. You got Pernita coming in. You understand, bro? Pernita is an absolute demon. Like, you know, y'all don't understand. But, like, bro, just to see them all fighting Senjumaru, and then it was all a ruse, like she didn't actually die, which honestly it's nasty to see this again, that like, you know, Lily Barrow shot right through her head, and then like Pernita like crunched her up into a ball and tossed her to the side. Like, seeing that shit was nasty again, but then also it being all a ruse, like seeing that animated was so fire. Like, all of them looked like they were so obnoxious with like, oh, was anybody that we faced, were they ever like not easy to beat and shit like that? And then like Senjumaru coming in, yo, I'm fine. And then you see like her talking about like Ichibei's like hiding the royal palace or something. And he's like, oh, if you're revealing that right now, that means that the cage is set up. And then you got Kirinji coming in. You got Oetsu, bro, my boy Oetsu. He's the fucking shit, bro. Oh man. And then him talking about his blade, that like he can't sheath it. It's too smooth, it's too sharp and everything. He has to constantly try to dull it for him to like hold it and use it and shit. And him taking out Gerard like so easily, and then him taking out Askin and everything. Them all getting like taken out by Oetsu inside that cage, and then like seeing the cage do its magic, that like the moment like Reishi gets towards it, like branches like branch off and stuff. Like, oh my gosh. Oh, it's so good. I'm so ready for next episode. And also like something that I was like, I kind of like got taken back by, or kind of shocked, was the medallion that Yuak threw so he could get out of the cage to fight Ichibei. And bro, Ichibei, that fight next episode, oh my, bro, I'm not entirely ready for that shit. It's gonna be nuts. I genuinely feel it's gonna be more nasty and more insane than Yuak versus Yamamoto, or fake Yuak versus Yamamoto. Bro, that fight, when you see Ichibe's abilities, it's fucking terrifying. And bro, I'm so hyped to see Kirinji fighting with his Zanpakuto, the hot spring demon. Bro, that shit fire. Oetsu fire. And then I forgot her, Kirio, I believe her name. I believe that's her name. The girl who made the cage and everything. It was all about that food and stuff, and her explaining her abilities. It was so cool in this episode. Oh, it seems like Zero Squad is looking like really cool. I feel like a tiny bit better, just a tiny bit better than in the manga. Because there's also a moment that they took out, was that like Kirinji with his Zanpakuto was going to fight Yuak and them, but Yuak and them were walking and they weren't getting hit by Kirinji and his abilities and shit. So it was like very they took that out, and you know, the reason why he wasn't hitting any of them was because of that guy who had the wind ability, that Stern Ritter that had the wind ability that wasn't letting anybody hit Yuak or him and whatnot. And then obviously in this episode, Senjumaru like takes him out. But there was an entire scene where Kirinji was the first one that came to try and like stab Yuak or something, but it was like, because of that guy's wind ability, it didn't work and whatnot. So but they didn't take that entire thing out, and then they just you know, scrapped that and just took out that wind ability dude like it was literally nothing. Like Senjumaru using her ability and shit, which I love their interaction. The wind guy saying, they're like, oh yeah, I have a bad habit of telling people like, you know, my full abilities and whatnot. And then she's like, yeah, you know, everybody has a bad habit or two. Mine, sometimes I forget, more often than not, I forget to take the needles out of my fabric or things that I've woven. I forget to take the needles out. And then she straight up kills him. Like, bro, that shit was nuts. I always loved that interaction, like in the manga and in the anime. It's just so much better and everything. So just to see this whole fight starting and stuff, and like, you know, Oetsu, no, San ni Mai, like, #1 Zanpakuto creator, and like, he's just so fire. Like, I love him so much, so good, and I'm so ready for next episode. Again, next episode, I'm still holding out because it's like, you know, a 2-episode finale, so it's like 50 minutes or something like that. I am still holding out that conversation between Orihime and Ichigo and Chad, like, them three are actually, that interaction is still possibly going to happen, because we're getting an entire fight, several fights next episode, so they're not going to be there for like a very fucking long time, like a very long time. So I'm very hyped to see like next episode and everything, but I think there's still time for that actual interaction, because we did see in this episode when Ichigo was talking about, like, you know, well, like, you know, Orihime is kind of like moping about, like, you know, you think Ishida will ever come back to us and whatnot. Ichigo's like, of course he will, and if he doesn't, we'll drag him back and whatnot. And Ichigo talking about, saying that stuff about Uryu, saying that we'll drag him back. He looked to the side and didn't want to look at Orihime, and he was blushing. So it's like, if that's like, it could be he's blushing because he's just embarrassed that, like, you know, I want to take Uryu back with us and everything, like, he's my friend, he's embarrassed to like say that or something. But I don't think so. I think that was like an Orihime Ichigo type of moment for him, like blushing and avoiding like looking at Orihime because of the outfit. So I still am holding on to hope for next episode that they're actually going to have that quick conversation, because again, it's like an important or meaningful type of conversation between Chad, Ichigo, and Orihime and whatnot, and emphasizes it a little more that like Ichigo is into Orihime and shit. I don't and they have time because they're sitting in this silo being launched up that like Mayuri like laughed at, or not laughed at, but he's like, that was a terrible launch, like, which was really hilarious. But yeah, I'm still holding on to hope that next episode or season finale that it's gonna show that. But yeah, anyways, that is pretty much it for the episode and whatnot. And bro, that part where Ichibei and Yuak are confronting each other, and Yuak saying the like telling them to move aside and some shit, and like Ichibei's like, hold on, you might lose your voice and shit. When he said, bro, when he said that shit in the manga, that shit was like, it was funny but fucking terrifying. Like you're looking at Ichibei's face, like Monaco Osho, bro. Like, see, like it's terrifying, dude. Like, but I love it. Like I love it so much. And then next episode is gonna be wild. It's absolutely gonna be nuts, and it's gonna be amazing. I'm so ready for all of it. It's gonna be so good. I'm so ready for more of the fight with like the Zero Division, like Squad Zero. It's gonna be so good. Ah, man. And then everything with Ichibei, man, like the mysteries like that he is, like all of a sudden he has like the Soul King's like eye on his palm and everything, like that shit, terrifying. And knowing that he actually had the arm of the Soul King apparently, and like their confrontation and stuff, like, man, it's gonna be good. But anyways, if you like the video, leave a like. If you like the episode, leave a like. If you love 1,000 Year Blood War arc so far, leave a like. And comment down below on your favorite parts of the 1,000 Year Blood War. If you love 1,000 Year Blood War arc and you loved anything I had to say, or liked anything I had to say, you liked the episode, leave a comment. And subscribe to the channel for more reviews, vlogs, unboxings, live reactions, and theory discussion videos, and things like that. So gentlemen, stay classy, ladies, stay sassy, but most important, everybody, you gotta stay a little nasty, right? So peace and love, and I'll see y'all later in the next video. Peace out. May the force be with you always. Plus, ultra, la, tome, bon, kai. Oh, man. It's gonna be fire. It's gonna be fire. Can somebody really replace the Soul King? Find out later. Alright, guys. Peace out and see you later. Dude, it's just absolutely wild to me that we had that conversation between Ichibei and Yuak in the beginning, in the past, of Ichibei, like, wanting to, you know, have, like, you know, a peace treaty contract type of thing of, like, you know, you guys can just do your own thing and whatnot, and, you know, everything will be peaceful and stuff. And then Yuak saying, what's so peaceful about these three realms? I heard that everything was once one world and shit. And, like, just that in itself, it's like there's a reason why there's three worlds now. There's a reason why there is peace. There's a, like, it's not the peace in the sense of, like, you know, people not having, like, being afraid of life and death and stuff. It's other aspects as to why this was a necessary thing, and the Soul King was fine with it. Like, and Yuak, for some reason, just does not understand that, like, at all. But, like, the whole conversation, dude, oh, it was so good.